Imagine being forced into a life so brutal that death feels like mercy. Now imagine thousands of people, enslaved, starved, and forgotten, rising up and nearly destroying one of the most powerful empires on earth. Before we dive into the main story, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell notification button for more interesting video like this. Not in Europe, not in America, but in the heart of the medieval Islamic world, under the mighty Abbasid Caliphate. For 14 years, this rebellion burned cities, toppled armies, and created a state run by former slaves. But here's the part history barely tells you. This revolt wasn't just about freedom. It became something far more dangerous. Because when the oppressed finally gained power, they didn't just fight back. They changed the rules of war. How did a group of enslaved laborers become a force that nearly collapsed an empire? And why did their revolution turn into one of the bloodiest uprisings in history? Stay with me, because this story only gets darker. To understand the Zanj Revolt, we need to travel to 9th century Iraq. At the time, the Abbasid Caliphate was one of the most powerful and advanced civilizations in the world. Its capital, Baghdad, was a global center of knowledge, trade, and culture. But far from the wealth of Baghdad, in the marshlands of southern Iraq near Basra, there was a different world. A world of mud, salt, disease, and suffering. The Zanj were primarily East African slaves, brought from regions along the Swahili coast. They were forced to work in brutal conditions. Draining salt marshes, digging irrigation canals, clearing toxic, salty soil. This wasn't just hard labor, it was deadly labor. Many died from disease, exhaustion, malnutrition. They were treated as disposable. No rights, no hope, no escape. But history has shown something again and again. When people are pushed to the absolute edge, they don't just break. They explode. In 869 CE, a man appeared who would change everything. Ali ibn Muhammad. He wasn't a slave himself, but he understood something powerful. People don't rise up just because they're suffering. They rise up when they believe change is possible. Ali ibn Muhammad promised freedom, power, revenge against oppressors, and most importantly, dignity. Thousands followed him. What started as scattered resistance quickly turned into something far more organized. A revolution. The Zanj didn't just rebel. They fought strategically. Using guerrilla tactics, attacked plantations, ambushed soldiers, freed more slaves. Their numbers grew rapidly. Soon they weren't just surviving. They were winning. Entire towns fell. Supply lines collapsed. And then came the moment that shocked the empire. The Zanj captured and devastated Basra. This wasn't a small victory. Basra was a major economic hub. Its fall sent shockwaves across the Abbasid world. But here's where the story takes a disturbing turn. As the Zanj gained power, their methods became increasingly brutal. Historical accounts describe mass killings, destruction of cities, enslavement of others. The line between liberators and conquerors began to blur. And this raises a difficult question. When the oppressed rise, what stops them from becoming the oppressors? This wasn't just a rebellion anymore. It was a war for control. The Abbasid Caliphate could not ignore this threat forever. After years of chaos, they launched a massive counteroffensive led by Muwaffaq. This was no ordinary campaign. It was a total war effort. The Abbasids reorganized their military, cut off Zanj supply routes, launched coordinated attacks. Bit by bit, the Zanj began to lose ground. Their strongholds fell. Their power weakened, until finally, their capital was destroyed, and their leader, Ali ibn Muhammad, was killed. By the time the revolt ended in 883 CE, the damage was staggering. Hundreds of thousands dead, cities destroyed, entire regions destabilized. The rebellion lasted 14 years, long enough to nearly break an empire. But here's the real impact. It exposed the vulnerability of even the most powerful states. And it forced the Abbasids to rethink labor systems, military strategy, internal control. The Zanj Revolt isn't just history. It's a warning. It shows us what extreme inequality can lead to, how power shifts can spiral out of control, and how revolutions can become something far more complex than good versus evil. Because history isn't simple, and neither are people. But here's something even more unsettling. The Zanj Revolt wasn't the last time enslaved people rose up. And it wasn't the last time a revolution turned into something darker. In another part of the world, centuries later, another uprising would succeed where the Zanj failed and change global history forever. Do you know which one it is? If you want to uncover more hidden histories like this, stories that changed the world but were almost forgotten, subscribe now, because the next story might change how you see history forever. For more videos like this, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.